President Bachelet, Mama Graça Machel, Program Director, Professor Jane Bennet, VC, Dr. Max Price, and everybody here today. Molweni, molo kakhulu ko mama, ndiyababona bahleli kwelaa cala. Thank you for the opportunity to raise these issues, and I want to take a particular note from where Mama Machel left off, and that is to talk about the outrage that you say we do not have. And I want to connect that to the talk that President Bachelet gave yesterday and today that focuses and highlights and almost encourages issues around diversity and the importance of difference. And these are important issues for me, particularly as a member of many groups who sit outside or who sit on the margins of society in South Africa. So I will read. But as I stand here, I stand here remembering the pains and the gains of the many women who marched and paved the way for us. I wonder why I remain enraged by the silences that continue to mute the experiences we carry on our bodies. Earlier, Artie talked about that. I'm enraged that 60 years into the Women's Charter, life for many women has remained the same. I'm troubled that the silences exposed by women such as Thenjiwe Mtiso, Zubeida Jaffa, and many more in the earlier liberation movement are still deafening. I'm outraged that after so many years, with the promise of freedom, many women cannot openly claim their right to sexual dignity, economic and social justice. Mama Machel, we are outraged. We are outraged by the violence that is happening on our bodies, our psyches, and our spaces. We are angered that here in Cape Town, Nontsikelelo Kyakyaka's murderer continued to roam around township streets, greeting Nontsikelo's mother and bragging to friends about how he killed the 21-year-old woman. After refusing to sleep with him, he murdered her. He wrapped her body in a blanket. Only a year later was her body found, dumped and decomposed in a rubbish bin in the murderer's yard. How can we not be outraged when men think they can take our bodies without our consent? When they believe that a woman's sexuality is only for the preserve of men? And when a woman is a lesbian, her sexual preference, who she is, and her political stances are an invitation to harm and violate her body? How can we keep silent when our bodies are chopped and mutilated? When Thapelo Makutle's murderer in Kuruman in Northern Cape believed, like many people in this country and in this continent, that being a gay man or a transgender person or a lesbian is ungodly and un-African. The murderer expressed his prejudice and beliefs by beheading 23-year-old Thapelo Makutle. He hacked his head off, his genitals, cut out his tongue, and then stuffed his testicles in his mouth. Where is the humanity in our time when prejudice and hatred precede the appreciation for difference and love? To whom can we run when the criminal justice system fails us, when our perpetrators are let free because when we die, our deaths and the sorrows of our families become insufficient evidence to arrest a known murderer? When our activism towards justice is delayed by court postponements, when a mother awaits for her child to come home only to find out that the boy next door has kidnapped her child, violated her body, and left her to die after inserting a toilet brush into her vagina. We cry with Duduzile Zozo's mother, who continues to go to courts hoping for justice for her daughter's death. We cry with her as she waits for her eldest daughter, the sole breadwinner, to return home and put food on the table. We mourn with her even when our sorrow mutes our pleas. We choke in grief because we know that here in this country, in this continent, to be a black woman, a lesbian, a transgender, or an intersex person is to have a political battle waged on our bodies. African presidents erect their elections on the bodies of women, on lesbians and gay bodies, on bodies they deem uncultured and African. As women from Nigeria to South Africa, we express our outrage and we forge our connections forced by the urgency to resist the forms of domination that aim to keep our sexuality and gender in a position of inferiority and subordination. History has shown us Machel, that freedom comes with taking risks. Like many who have risked their lives, their children, and families for this nation and the liberation of people, we continue this work. This is the question you asked us. We continue this work of liberation, until we all are free.